Listen to the following talk.
Texting my husband. Being with you up to this point is the dumbest thing I've ever done. 4 years ago, I wrote a post titled, "My husband doesn't want to share with me anymore." At that time, I was dealing with postpartum depression, and my mental state was terrible. Now, 4 years later, I have that same unsettled feeling, and I just need to vent a bit. My husband and I have been together since college, 11 years now. I'm a strong woman, average at housework but good at cooking. I enjoy trying out new recipes, and I keep the house clean, but I'm terrible at sewing. I'm good at sports. I'm not beautiful, but I'm cute and have a curvy figure. I've always been the kind of person who does what they say, and I'm all about fixing mistakes and having clear rights and wrongs. When it comes to things I need from my husband, I hardly ever say anything more than 3 times because 3 strikes, you're out. If he doesn't do it, I'll just do it myself. I can handle pretty much everything around the house, even fixing electrical stuff. If I choose to do something, I'm all in and committed to getting it done. I always respect my husband's independence. I don't manage or control him. In my mind, he's an adult, and how he lives is up to him. I've always supported him in his career, even though he's had a lot of failures, and I've let him try things. Never more than 3 times, though. Raising our child is incredibly important to me. When she was little, I grew our own vegetables. I teach her right from wrong, and she has to admit her mistakes. I don't spoil her. I've realized that I'm too much of a perfectionist, too rigid. I'm a bit stubborn, quick-tempered, but I speak politely and can't stand vulgar language. In 2020, after reading and reflecting on all the comments, I did a lot of self-reflection and have become much more patient. As for my husband, he's calm, good with our child, and can cook and do housework. His job is more stable now, but he never fully focuses on anything he does. He's lazy about exercising. He's only 33, but his belly is huge. He spoils our child, but also hits her for no reason. He's calm but has a short fuse. When something doesn't go his way, he yells at our child and curses me with mean, nasty words. He's infertile, but when my mother-in-law blamed me for not being able to bear children in front of him, I silently cried, waiting for him to say something to defend me. But he didn't say a word. He's so cowardly. He even once refused to let our daughter sleep with me, saying I needed to study and she needed to be independent. If I agree with him, everything's fine, but if I don't, he lashes out and insults me. I often tell him to live his life as he wishes, but I also remind him that as a father, he needs to set an example for our daughter. She's 6 years old now. Her personality is forming. If we don't teach her right from wrong now, when will we? I care more about teaching her how to live and behave than forcing her to learn to read. She's still young, and I want her to grow up following her interests because in just a few years, she'll have to get serious about school. Now, let's talk about the conflict between me and my husband. When we found out about his infertility, he cried a lot, and I stayed strong. I researched everything, and on my own, I went to Saigon for fertility treatment, even though we didn't yet know if he had viable sperm after his surgery. At that time, I felt like I needed to prove something to my in-laws. When I finally got pregnant, I had an asthma attack and lost the baby. I have a type of allergy-induced and psychological asthma. When I married him, I was fully committed, so I built a house on my in-laws' land. After I got pregnant, I wanted to move out because I couldn't handle the constant lack of sleep and difficulty breathing. That's when the distance between us started. I had a C-section and worked hard to get back in shape quickly. Physically, nothing changed, and I was able to meet his needs. But when our daughter turned 1, he started avoiding intimacy. When I showed him affection, he became cold and dismissive. After that, he just took what he wanted while I handled everything else. I started to feel worthless, so I completely stopped showing him any affection, no hugs or kisses. One day I found out he had cheated, not for sex because he's always been quick in bed. He said the other woman was gentler and more feminine than me, and I let it go. But since then, I haven't been able to kiss or show him any affection. I feel nothing, no love, no attraction. It's been 3 years now that our marriage has been like this, and I just can't stand it. Our daughter is growing up, and it breaks my heart that her parents are just pretending to get along. That incident was a wake-up call for me. I used to be full of energy, but after getting married, I poured everything into my family, giving up career advancement and all my plans to focus on having children and supporting him. The outcome has been so bitter for me. Since then, I've started planning my escape. I've been saving money, focusing on myself and my career. There was a point where I felt completely drained, juggling too many things, studying for professional certifications, working on a second degree, and pursuing a master's degree. I was desperately trying to find a way out. I mapped out a plan to divorce him, win custody of our daughter, and secure a financial cushion for myself. Then, I met a friend who woke me up, asking if I was being selfish toward my daughter. I had brought her into this world. Wasn't it my responsibility to give her a complete happy life? Wasn't that the best way to show responsibility toward her? And given my husband's infertility, there's no way he'd let me take her without a fight. It would be a custody battle. And in the end, our daughter would be the one who suffers the most. My friend said I needed to clear my head and not let my anger blind me. Now everything's fallen into place. I'm almost done with my studies, my career is advancing, and I've saved enough for the two of us. But as I look back on the path I've taken, I realize I've been too focused on myself, neglecting the responsibility I took on when I chose to have my daughter. She's still so innocent, and she's happy now because she has the illusion of a warm family. So I've decided to give this marriage another chance, for her and for myself, to prove that there's no right choice. You just have to make the choice you made work. I've softened, become gentler, going back to my old, playful college self. I've been taking better care of my appearance, trying my best to reconnect with my husband and rebuild our home. But I don't feel anything for him anymore. I've realized I don't love him. The thing is, he hasn't changed at all. Today, I texted him. I've never regretted giving my all to this marriage, but being with you up to now has been the dumbest decision of my life. From now on, I'll stay silent and only communicate with you about our child. I attached a marriage settlement agreement with that message. Then I cried so much, just like I did in 2020. Now I feel lost, empty, and I can't sleep. I'm so tired of living like this. But then I remind myself to wake up by looking at my sweet daughter. I really don't know what to do anymore. I'm asking for advice, some experience to help me through this tough time.
This content is just an example for learning English. Thank you for watching. How do you feel about this video? Please leave a comment below.